Take a moment and think about this. Why is it that some men seem to naturally attract respect and admiration, while others struggle no matter how hard they try? It's not just about looks, money, or status. If it were, the loudest, flashiest guys would win every time. But that's not what actually happens, is it? Instead, you'll find that women are drawn to a certain type of man, a man who doesn't beg for attention, doesn't put on a show, and doesn't rely on gimmicks. This isn't some vague, abstract idea. This is something you can learn, embody, and live. But most men never figure it out. They've been fed lies, told to chase approval, and trained to think that if they're nice enough, or loud enough, or try hard enough, they'll be irresistible. Here's the truth that society doesn't want you to know. Women respect strength, not just the physical kind, but the inner strength that radiates from a man who's grounded, composed, and in control. And the good news? This is something you can cultivate. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about discovering a side of yourself that you might not have tapped into yet. In this video, I'm going to break down the one quality that makes all the difference. The trait that separates the men women settle for from the men they can't stop thinking about. And by the time we're done, you'll have a clear understanding of what really matters, not only in your relationships, but in how you carry yourself in every aspect of life. Stick with me, because what I'm about to share isn't just another tip or trick. It's a fundamental shift in how you see yourself and how the world sees you. To start, let's look at a quality most men completely overlook, one that quietly sets the foundation for attraction and respect. We're talking about strength and stillness. And by that, I mean the calm, steady confidence that women notice instantly, but so few men truly understand. Let's break this down. The power of presence and stillness. When it comes to attraction, presence isn't just about being there physically. It's about the energy you carry into the room. Women notice everything, every glance, every hesitation, every small tell that gives away what's really going on inside you. It's not a game or a performance. It's human nature. They're wired to pick up on these cues, and they're incredibly good at it. Most men don't realize how much they're communicating before they even speak. They think confidence comes from saying the right things or acting a certain way. But real confidence is something you radiate before a single word leaves your mouth. It's in the way you carry yourself, the steadiness of your gaze, and the calmness in your posture. Imagine this scenario. You walk into a room where there's tension. Maybe people are arguing or the environment is just chaotic. One man walks in and immediately starts looking around nervously. He shifts his weight from foot to foot, glances down at his phone, or fidgets with his hands. Even if he tries to play it cool, everyone around him can feel that he's unsettled. Now picture another man. He steps into the same room, but instead of reacting to the chaos, he moves slowly and deliberately. He takes a deep breath and stands tall. His face is calm. His eyes meet others directly but without aggression. He isn't rushing to fix the situation or prove anything. He's simply present, steady, and centered. Which man do you think captures people's attention? Which one do you think women are more drawn to? Presence is about more than just physical appearance. It's about being fully engaged in the moment. It's about showing that you're not easily rattled, that you can stand firm when the world feels shaky. Women respect that because it signals strength, not just physical strength, but the inner strength that tells her, this is a man I can rely on. But let's get one thing clear. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's not about forcing yourself to stand stiffly or overanalyzing every movement. True presence comes from within. It's about genuinely mastering your emotions so that when challenges arise, you stay composed. Think about how many men lose their cool under pressure. Someone cuts them off in traffic, and suddenly they're shouting and slamming their steering wheel. Or their boss criticizes them at work, and they spend the rest of the day sulking or snapping at coworkers. Women see these reactions and instinctively feel that something's off. If a man can't handle these smaller moments, how will he handle the bigger challenges in life? Now contrast that with a man who can take a deep breath and let the little things slide. Someone who can stay calm even when the stakes are high. This kind of composure isn't just appealing, it's magnetic. Women notice it immediately because it's so rare. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows his own worth and doesn't need to prove it to anyone else. Here's another way to think about it. Women aren't just looking for a man who can protect them physically. They're looking for emotional safety. They want to know that if things get tough, if life throws unexpected challenges their way, they have a partner who won't crumble under pressure. And that sense of safety, that feeling of being able to rely on someone, starts with your presence. So how do you cultivate this presence? It begins with self-awareness. Pay attention to your habits, your reactions, and your body language. Are you constantly fidgeting, looking down, or avoiding eye contact? Or are you standing tall, breathing deeply, and engaging with the world around you? The more you practice being fully present, the more natural it becomes. Another key factor is emotional regulation. When you learn to handle your emotions, whether it's stress, anger, or nervousness, you project a sense of calm and control. This doesn't mean suppressing how you feel. It means acknowledging your emotions, understanding them, and choosing how to respond. Over time, this steady, composed presence becomes a part of who you are. It's not something you have to think about or force. It just is. And when women see a man like that, someone who doesn't react to every little annoyance, who remains calm under pressure, and who exudes quiet confidence, they feel drawn to him in ways that go far deeper than superficial attraction. Presence is the foundation of respect, and without respect, there can be no genuine attraction. So start by mastering the small moments. Practice staying calm when things don't go your way. Work on being fully engaged in every interaction, and as you cultivate this stillness within yourself, you'll find that people, not just women but everyone, respond to you differently. They'll respect you more, listen to you more, and most importantly, they'll start to see you as a leader, someone who stands apart from the crowd. That's the power of presence and stillness. Now that we've explored the power of presence, let's build on that foundation. While stillness and calm are vital, they're only the beginning. The next step is taking that inner composure and turning it into genuine self-leadership. Because a man who can lead himself inspires trust and admiration. Let's talk about what that means. Leadership through self-mastery. Self-mastery, it's a concept you've probably heard before, but what does it actually mean? And why is it so essential to becoming the man you're truly capable of being? At its core, self-mastery is about control. Not control over others, but over yourself. It's about owning your reactions, your emotions, and your decisions. It's the ability to guide yourself with intention, even when the world around you is chaotic. Think about it. If you can't lead yourself, how can you expect anyone else to respect you? How can you be a steady partner, a strong figure, or someone people look up to if you're constantly at the mercy of your impulses? But let's break it down, piece by piece. Self-mastery doesn't mean you have to be a robot, emotionless and unaffected. Far from it. Emotions are natural. They're a big part of being human. The difference is that when you master yourself, you don't let those emotions drive the bus. You learn to recognize them, process them, and then respond in a way that aligns with your values and long-term goals. Think about rejection, for example. No one enjoys being turned down. Whether it's a romantic interest saying no, a job interview that doesn't go your way, or even a friend who seems distant, rejection can sting. But how do most men handle it? Some lash out, letting anger and frustration take over. Others retreat into themselves, letting that one rejection define their worth. They carry it with them, replaying the moment over and over until it's no longer just a no, but a statement about who they are as a person. A man with self-mastery takes a different approach. He understands that rejection is just a moment in time. It's a single data point, not the whole story. He asks himself, what can I learn from this? Is there something I could have done differently? If not, how do I move forward? Instead of dwelling on the loss, he focuses on the next opportunity. Instead of feeling defeated, he feels informed. Rejection, then, becomes a tool for growth rather than a dead end. Now let's talk about criticism. Most of us don't like being criticized. It can feel like an attack, and our natural response is often to defend ourselves, to argue or to shut down. But a man who leads himself knows that criticism is often the fastest route to improvement. He doesn't take it personally. Instead, he listens carefully. He separates the emotional sting from the factual content. He asks himself, is there truth in this criticism? Is there something here that can make me better? And if the criticism is baseless, he doesn't waste energy fighting it. He lets it roll off his back, secure in the knowledge that his value doesn't depend on everyone's approval. This ability to remain composed and thoughtful in the face of criticism is rare, and it's a trait that earns enormous respect. A man who can handle criticism with grace demonstrates confidence, humility, and a commitment to growth, all of which make him stand out in any setting. Then there's failure. Failure is one of life's great inevitabilities. No one goes through life without experiencing it. The difference is in how we respond. Many men let failure define them. They take it as a sign that they're not good enough, that they should quit, that their dreams are out of reach. But here's the truth. Failure is not a final verdict. It's a stepping stone. Every great accomplishment in history is built on a foundation of failures. The key is to see failure as feedback. It's not the end, it's a lesson. A man with self-mastery knows this. When he stumbles, he doesn't stay down. He analyzes what went wrong, adjusts his approach, and tries again. This resilience, this refusal to be defeated, is incredibly attractive. It's the kind of strength that people admire, the kind that makes women feel secure and inspired. It's not about never failing, it's about never giving up. Self-mastery isn't just about handling rejection, criticism, and failure, though. It spills over into every aspect of your life. In your career, it means setting clear goals and working steadily toward them, even when the path gets difficult. It means staying disciplined, putting in the effort day after day, so that you're always growing and improving. In friendships, it means being the steady, reliable person others can depend on, the one who's not swayed by drama or fleeting emotions. In your health, it means making choices that support your long-term well-being rather than giving in to short-term temptations. Ultimately, self-mastery is about living with intention. It's about knowing who you are, what you stand for, where you're going, and then aligning your actions with that vision. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never feeling nervous or angry or disappointed. It's about recognizing those feelings, taking a breath, and choosing how to respond rather than letting the feelings control you. So how do you cultivate self-mastery? Start with awareness. Pay attention to your triggers. Notice the moments when you feel yourself losing control, whether it's an argument, a setback, or a stressful situation. Recognize the pattern. Once you see it, you can begin to change it. Practice patience. Before reacting, pause. Count to 3. Take a deep breath. This brief moment of reflection can prevent impulsive reactions and help you respond in a more thoughtful, deliberate way. Set small, achievable goals. Self-mastery isn't built overnight. Start by committing to one small positive habit and sticking to it. Each time you follow through, you reinforce your own sense of discipline and control. Surround yourself with the right people. You don't have to do it all on your own. Find friends, mentors, or a community that holds you accountable and encourages you to keep growing. Be patient with yourself. Growth takes time. You're going to slip up. You're going to have setbacks. The key is to keep going. Each day you practice self-mastery, you're becoming stronger, more resilient, and more confident. When you lead yourself, when you truly master your own mind and actions, you set yourself apart. You become the man who stands calm in the storm, who learns from every challenge, and who never stops improving. And that's the kind of man who not only commands respect, but who lives a life of purpose, integrity, and fulfillment. As you build self-mastery, you'll start to notice something else falling into place. Purpose. The kind of clear, driving purpose that makes you magnetic. The kind of purpose that shifts how people see you and how you see yourself. Let's dive into that next. Radiating purpose and vision. Purpose is one of the most transformative forces you can embrace. It's what gives your life meaning, your decisions clarity, and your confidence a rock-solid foundation. Without it, even the most charming, good-looking, or well-spoken man eventually loses his luster. But when you have a clear purpose, when you know what you're striving toward and why, it changes everything about how you carry yourself, how others perceive you, and how you respond to life's challenges. Imagine going through life without any real direction. Each day is just a repetition of the last. You wake up, go to work, maybe hit the gym, watch TV, and fall asleep. You feel like you're just existing rather than truly living. Without purpose, it's easy to feel stuck, unmotivated, or even resentful about where you are. And that lack of direction doesn't just affect you. It seeps into every part of your life, including your relationships. Now contrast that with a life driven by purpose. When you know what you want to achieve, and when that goal excites you and pushes you to grow, you wake up with energy and focus. You have a reason to face each day, to work through challenges, and to keep improving. And the amazing thing is, when you're pursuing something you genuinely care about, that energy and focus start to radiate outward. People notice. They can feel it. It's not something you can fake. It's a genuine sense of confidence and conviction that can only come from living with intention. Let's take a look at some examples of individuals who've built their lives around a strong sense of purpose. These aren't just historical figures or celebrities. They're people who've shown us what's possible when you have a clear vision and the determination to follow through. Martin Luther King Jr. His purpose was deeply rooted in fighting for equality and civil rights. What made him so magnetic wasn't just his speeches or his leadership skills. It was the unwavering conviction behind his actions. People followed him because they could see he wasn't just trying to make noise. He was pursuing something that truly mattered. Elon Musk. Regardless of how you feel about him, Musk's purpose-driven approach to innovation is undeniable. His commitment to renewable energy, space exploration, and transforming transportation isn't just a series of business ventures. It's a clear vision of the future he's trying to create. That kind of focused purpose draws people in. They want to be part of something bigger, something meaningful. Your role models. Think about someone in your own life who inspires you. It might be a teacher who changed your perspective, a parent who worked tirelessly to provide opportunities for their family, or a friend who pursued their passion against all odds. These individuals likely didn't gain your admiration by being aimless. They earned it through their sense of purpose, their drive, and their ability to stay true to their values. When you have a purpose, you carry yourself differently. You're no longer looking to others for validation because you're focused on your own goals. Your conversations have more depth. Your decisions have more weight. And most importantly, your energy becomes magnetic. People can sense when someone is driven by a clear vision. It's not something you need to announce, it's something you embody. For example, let's say you meet someone at a social event. The average guy might talk about whatever comes to mind, sports, weather, or his latest gadget. There's nothing wrong with those topics, but if that's all you bring to the table, the interaction often feels shallow and forgettable. On the other hand, if you're working towards something meaningful, whether it's building your own business, training for a marathon, or volunteering to make a difference, your conversation naturally takes on more substance. It's not just about impressing people, it's about showing that you have something you care deeply about. That level of engagement and passion is compelling. When it comes to relationships, purpose plays a crucial role. Women and people in general are naturally drawn to individuals who know what they want and are working toward it. It's not about having a fancy title or a six-figure salary. It's about showing that you're moving in a direction that matters to you. A man with purpose is attractive because he's not chasing anyone's approval. He's too focused on his mission to seek constant validation. This doesn't mean you should ignore your partner or put your goals above everything else. It means that by having a strong sense of purpose, you bring more to the relationship. You inspire your partner. You create a dynamic where you both grow and support each other. And perhaps most importantly, you set the tone. A man who lives with intention encourages those around him to do the same. Now let's make this practical. Take a moment and ask yourself, what's one thing I've always wanted to do but haven't started? Why haven't I pursued it yet? What's one small step I can take today to get closer to that goal? Write your answer down. It could be something as simple as making a phone call, doing a quick online search, or spending 15 minutes brainstorming ideas. The key is to take action, no matter how small. Each step you take toward your goal reinforces your sense of purpose. It reminds you that you're in control of your life and your direction. Living with purpose isn't just about attracting respect and admiration in the moment. It's about building a life that feels meaningful, fulfilling, and rewarding in the long run. When you pursue something you care about, every challenge becomes an opportunity. Every setback becomes a chance to grow. Over time, you'll notice stronger confidence. Purpose gives you a reason to stand tall and push forward, even when things get tough. Better decision-making. With a clear goal in mind, it's easier to weigh your options and choose the path that aligns with your values. Deeper relationships. People are naturally drawn to those who live with intention. They respect your focus and admire your dedication. Lasting fulfillment. Purpose makes each day meaningful. It's the difference between simply existing and truly living. Radiating purpose isn't about having all the answers. It's not about knowing exactly how things will turn out. It's about choosing a direction, committing to it, and letting that commitment shape how you move through the world. When you have purpose, you don't need to prove yourself. Your actions speak louder than words. People notice, they respect it, and they're inspired by it. We've talked about the importance of having a clear purpose and how it can shape your presence. Now let's shift our focus to another crucial aspect of attraction: your ability to remain composed under pressure. This trait, non-reactivity, is often overlooked, but it's one of the strongest signals of confidence you can send. Let's unpack what it means and why it's so important. Non-reactivity as a sign of confidence. What exactly is non-reactivity? At its core, it's the ability to stay calm, composed, and in control, no matter what's happening around you. It's not about ignoring your feelings or suppressing your emotions. Instead, it's about having the strength to choose how you respond, rather than letting situations or people dictate your behavior. Women and people in general pay close attention to how you handle yourself in moments of stress or conflict. They notice if you're quick to anger, easily flustered, or prone to overreacting. On the flip side, they also notice when you remain steady, thoughtful, and deliberate. That steadiness sends a powerful message. You're a man who can handle life's challenges. You're someone they can rely on. Common tests and challenges. Women often test men, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously, to gauge their strength and stability. These tests aren't malicious, they're instinctive. Women want to know if you're the type of man who can maintain composure and lead under pressure. Some examples might include playful teasing, a lighthearted comment that pokes fun at you, challenging your opinion, bringing up a differing viewpoint to see how you handle disagreement, questioning your actions or decisions, asking why you did something in a way that might sound critical. When you react defensively, aggressively, or emotionally, it signals insecurity. But when you respond with calm confidence, smiling, staying composed, and engaging without taking things personally, it's incredibly attractive. It shows that you're not easily shaken and that you can handle both the good and the challenging moments in stride. Responding versus reacting. This distinction is key. Reacting is impulsive. It's what happens when you let your emotions take over without thinking. For example, someone makes a critical comment and you immediately snap back or shut down. Responding is deliberate. It's when you pause, think through your feelings, and then choose the best course of action. It's about being intentional and measured. Here's a simple framework to help you stay in control. Pause before saying or doing anything. Take a breath. Count to 3 if you need to. This short moment gives you space to prevent a knee-jerk reaction. Assess. Ask yourself, what's really happening here? Is this a big deal? How can I respond in a way that reflects my values and confidence? Respond. Choose a response that's calm and constructive. Whether it's a simple, "That's an interesting perspective," or a relaxed smile and a few well-chosen words, the goal is to show that you're in control. Imagine this. You're at a social gathering and someone starts poking fun at you in front of a group. They make a comment about your clothes or the way you're standing. The average man might get defensive. "What's that supposed to mean?" Or try to fire back with a weak comeback. The room becomes tense and he looks flustered. Now consider a different approach. The man being teased simply smiles, looks the person in the eye and says, "That's one way to look at it," before calmly continuing his conversation. He doesn't get drawn into the drama. He doesn't let the teasing shake his confidence. The room notices. Instead of being seen as the target of a joke, he's seen as unflappable, a man who doesn't take himself too seriously, but also doesn't let anyone rattle him. That simple act of non-reactivity shifts how everyone sees him. Instead of coming off as insecure or combative, he appears self-assured, in control, and worthy of respect. Non-reactivity isn't about being passive or weak. In fact, it's the opposite. It shows that you have the strength to rise above the noise and focus on what truly matters. It tells the world that you're not easily pushed around and that you have enough confidence to handle challenges without losing your cool. For women, this trait is incredibly attractive because it provides emotional security. If you can stay calm under pressure, it's a sign that you'll be a steady presence in their lives. It reassures them that when things get tough, because they inevitably will, you won't crumble. Practice mindfulness. Get used to observing your thoughts and emotions without immediately acting on them. Reflect on past reactions. Think about times when you overreacted. What triggered it? How could you handle it differently next time? Challenge yourself. Step into situations that might normally test your patience and use them as opportunities to practice staying calm. Focus on long-term perspective. Remind yourself that most things that feel urgent in the moment won't matter in a week, a month, or a year. Non-reactivity is more than just a skill. It's a mindset. It's about staying true to your values, staying calm under pressure, and choosing responses that reflect the man you want to be. It's not something that happens overnight, but every time you pause, assess, and respond thoughtfully, you're reinforcing that inner strength. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. As we wrap up, think about how these principles, presence, self-mastery, purpose, and non-reactivity, can transform not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. When you embody these traits, you're not just building attraction, you're building a life of respect, confidence, and fulfillment. Let's bring it all together. We've covered a lot of ground here, and it all comes back to 4 central principles: presence, self-mastery, purpose, and non-reactivity. Each one on its own is powerful, but together they form a framework that can redefine how you live your life, how others see you, and most importantly, how you see yourself. Presence. At its heart, presence is about more than just showing up. It's about being fully engaged, fully aware, and fully confident. It's the energy you project without even saying a word. The calm confidence that tells people you're in control. When you walk into a room, your presence sets the tone. It makes people take notice, listen more carefully, and respect what you have to say. Presence is something you can cultivate by paying attention to how you carry yourself, how you breathe, how you stand, and how you focus your attention in each moment. Self-mastery. Self-mastery is where it all begins. Without it, the rest falls apart. This principle is about taking full responsibility for your own growth. It's about recognizing your own triggers, understanding your emotional patterns, and learning how to respond to life's challenges in a way that's thoughtful rather than impulsive. The more you master yourself, the less you'll be swayed by external forces. You won't be the man who gets knocked off course by criticism, rejection, or failure. Instead, you'll be the man who uses those moments to grow stronger and more resilient. Self-mastery isn't a destination. It's an ongoing process that keeps building layer upon layer of inner strength. Purpose. Living with purpose gives your life a compass. It turns what might feel like mundane daily routines into meaningful steps toward a larger vision. Purpose isn't about having all the answers. It's about choosing a direction, setting a goal, and working toward it every single day. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, it becomes much easier to stay motivated, to push through challenges, and to keep going even when things get tough. Purpose doesn't just make you more productive. It makes you more attractive, more respected, and more confident. People naturally gravitate toward those who are clear about what they want and unapologetic about going after it. Non-reactivity. Finally, we come to non-reactivity. This is the ability to remain calm under pressure, to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, to maintain your composure in the face of criticism, challenges, and unexpected setbacks. Non-reactivity signals strength. It shows that you're in control of yourself, that you can handle whatever comes your way, and that you don't crumble when the heat is on. Non-reactivity isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about mastering them. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can weather any storm and still keep moving forward. When you start practicing these principles, you'll notice a shift, not just in how others respond to you, but in how you perceive yourself. Your relationships will naturally become healthier, more balanced, and more respectful. People will start treating you differently, not because you demand it, but because you've earned it through your actions and presence. More than that, these traits help you become the kind of person who can handle life's ups and downs with grace and strength. You'll find that you're less shaken by setbacks and more capable of bouncing back from challenges. You'll stop seeking approval from others because you'll have built a foundation of self-respect and inner confidence. Over time, you'll begin to see yourself as someone who isn't just surviving, but thriving. Someone who is fully engaged with life, focused on a purpose, and unwavering in their self-control. Change doesn't happen all at once. The good news is that you don't have to overhaul everything in one day. Instead, start with just one small change. Maybe it's taking a deep breath before you respond to a stressful situation. Maybe it's setting one clear goal for the week ahead. Maybe it's identifying just one trigger that tends to throw you off balance and committing to handling it differently next time. Whatever it is, make it specific, make it manageable, and make it something you can start today. That single step, no matter how small, is a declaration. It's a statement that you're ready to move forward. And once you take that step, it becomes easier to take the next one and the one after that. With each small action, you're building momentum, reinforcing the habits and mindset that will shape the person you're becoming. Here's the most important thing to remember. This isn't about being perfect. Nobody gets it right every time. There will be moments when you stumble, moments when you react rather than respond, or moments when you feel unsure about your purpose. That's okay. Growth isn't about never making mistakes. It's about learning from them, adjusting your approach, and continuing to move forward. What matters is that you're making consistent choices that reflect the man you want to become. Each time you choose to stay calm instead of snapping, each time you push forward toward your goals, each time you respond with thoughtfulness rather than defensiveness, you're building a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. So start now. Take one small action today. The results won't come overnight, but they will come. And when you look back weeks, months, or years from now, you'll see just how far you've come. The person you'll become will thank you for taking that first step today.